Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Dalia, and I hope you guys are all having an absolutely wonderful day today. So today I'm really excited because today we're doing our first Q&A video on the channel. I thought it would be a little fun to do a Q&A video in celebration of reaching 1,000 subscribers. And I would just like to say a huge thank you once again for reaching 1,000 subs. I honestly never expected to reach that milestone, and I am so insanely grateful for each and every one of you. So I asked you guys on Twitter as well as the community tab to ask me some questions for my Q&A. I just recently got the community tab, so I will be posting lots of information in the future there regarding upcoming videos, polls for videos you guys would like to see, and all that fun stuff. So definitely make sure to keep track of the community tab on my channel now. So I asked you guys on those two platforms to ask me some questions for today's Q&A video, and I got a few really great ones, so I thought we'd start there. And I did this little terraforming bit a couple days ago, and I thought I'd just do it as a speed de-terraforming, I guess, because all I'm doing is destroying these glyphs, and it took me like an hour to do. So as I'm doing a little bit of de-terraforming and destroying these glyphs, I'm going to answer your questions. So the first question said, and I actually got a few people ask me this question, which was, what is your first Animal Crossing game? And my first Animal Crossing game was actually the first one that came out on GameCube back in 2001. It was probably one of the first video games I ever actually played. My first ever console was a PS2, but my first ever game on GameCube was Animal Crossing, and the reason I started playing it is because my older cousin introduced it to me, and I think I was 8 at the time. I begged my parents to buy it for me, and eventually they caved. And so we went to Best Buy and bought myself my first ever, or it wasn't even Best Buy, it was I think Future Shop, which is kind of like a version of Best Buy in Canada. And I got my first GameCube and my first game, which was Animal Crossing, and then I would grow to buy other GameCube games over the course of my life. And yeah, so that was the first Animal Crossing game I ever played, and actually the only game I played up until New Horizons, and that's mainly because I didn't own another console until I got my Switch last year. The only two consoles I ever owned in my life were my PS2 and my GameCube, which I played. I actually still play up to this day. I still have a lot of games on both those consoles that I really enjoy, so yeah. And kind of similar to that question, I also got asked, how did I get into Animal Crossing? And that kind of just falls after the fact that I loved the first game so much, and after last year when everything happened and we went into lockdown, for my birthday, which is April 15th, which is actually coming up in a few weeks, I decided to gift myself a Nintendo Switch. So I searched online and it was impossible to find one, but eventually, about a week or so before my birthday, I managed to snag a Nintendo Switch as well as the Animal Crossing game on Best Buy, and I bought it. And obviously, as you guys can tell, a lot has happened in the last year. I started making YouTube videos and started playing video games online, and yeah, so that's how I got into Animal Crossing New Horizons, at least. And like I said before, I got into Animal Crossing because my older cousin introduced it to me, and yeah, okay. And then, asked by the same person, they asked, what is your biggest wish for a future New Horizons update? And honestly, it kind of just falls into what we got from this recent update, which is more quality of life updates. Obviously, I would love to see a lot of new NPCs enter the game from the past, like Brewster and other NPCs, but my biggest thing is quality of life updates. Getting to customize more than one item at a time, getting to buy in bulk at the Able Sisters or at the Nooks, just things like that that just make playing the game a little bit easier, because obviously, as you know, I have over 1,000 hours in this game, and while I love it, a lot of that time has been spent repeatedly doing the same things over and over again, like having to craft 20 of the same item, having to repeatedly buy things from Nooks or go in and out of the Able Sisters if I want something of the same color. So yeah, that would be my biggest thing that I would like to see from the update, if that's ever going to happen, which I really hope that they do. I think that this update recently has proven that they are willing to update and give us better quality of life updates, obviously with the new custom design slots available in the game and all those fun things. But yeah, so that would definitely be the biggest thing I'd want to see. So this one kind of falls into the same thing. I don't know if she meant this in terms of like what was the first Animal Crossing game I'd ever played or what was the first video game I ever played. So the first video game I can ever remember playing was on my PS2, and I played the Jak and Daxter game, if you remember that. There's like this Jak and Daxter franchise or Jak franchise that consists of like multiple video games. I think it came out on like PS2, PS3, probably PC as well. And if you're unfamiliar what it is, I'll show a picture up here. And this is one of my favorite games that I played growing up. I owned every game in the series, but this is the first game that I started with. I think I started playing this game when I was maybe around 7 or 8. It's a very easy game to play, but I love the whole game and the whole series and like the kind of like the lore and history behind the game. And then the first ever GameCube game I played other than Animal Crossing was the Zelda the Wind Waker game, and this is actually the same cousin that introduced me to Animal Crossing. She let me borrow the Legend of Zelda the Wind Waker, and that was one of the first Zelda games I had ever played. I played a few since then, not on any consoles that I've owned until I started playing Breath of the Wild, but yeah, that was probably the first video games that I can vaguely remember playing, other than like random like PC games that I used to play when I was a little kid. So another person asked, if you could only have one Animal Crossing game out of the franchise, which one would it be? I would definitely have to say New Horizons. Even though I haven't played like New Leaf and the other games, I have seen a lot of people play it online, and while it does look like a lot of fun, obviously New Horizons has more customization and customability compared to the other games, and it lets you do a lot more, and the graphics, I think, in my opinion, are a lot nicer, although there is a lot of things from the other games that I've seen that look amazing that I really hope that they bring to New Horizons. But definitely New Horizons in terms of the fact that you can terraform and use custom pathing, and you really can make your island completely your own. And the designing aspect of New Horizons is one of my favorite aspects of the Animal Crossing game in general. And then the same person asked also, what would you do when you get bored of Animal Crossing or suffer from burnout? And I had a few people ask me about burnout as well. And over the year, obviously, I'm almost up to a year anniversary of playing the game, and I've reset my island once since then. So I've had 2 islands, and I will say, of course, I have burnout. It just happens. There are days that I go days and days without playing, and I will say that ever since I started recording videos and started making content where I am making a lot of my builds on my island in order to make videos, I haven't really experienced a lot of burnout. Obviously, there has been moments where like I haven't picked up the game, like I said, and there can be days where I'm like just really not motivated to play. And I honestly can say when it comes to that, it's okay to have burnout. It's okay to walk away from the game and not want to play for a bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to put down your Switch and not play for a few weeks, that's completely up to you. For myself, I will turn to other video games. My other favorite one to play is Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I just recently actually deleted my saved folder and restarted, and it's been so much fun replaying that. But yeah, other than playing other games, I also love looking at other people's content, seeing the amazing builds and things that I can see people posting on Instagram or Twitter or YouTube. Obviously, I watch a lot of YouTube content, having made some of my own, and I try to find inspiration from other people and see what they're doing on their islands. And even if someone is doing a completely different theme than me, like if I see someone doing an amazing like city core or a completely different theme than what I'm doing, and they do it with such like they're so incredible, like the build is amazing, that honestly gives me a lot of inspiration to work on my own island, and that can inspire me to try to pick up the game and see what I can do. And if that doesn't necessarily work, then sometimes I just go on for like maybe 10 minutes in a day, kind of maybe do my dailies, talk to my villagers, and then I just log out. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to build something. I don't have to be productive in a video game to have fun. Sometimes just running around on your island and fishing for 20 minutes can be perfectly fine, and there's no right way to play Animal Crossing. Play it however you want, at the speed that you want, and if you have burnout, then that's totally fine. If an update doesn't please you, that's totally fine. You don't have to love every moment of playing a video game. That's not the point. It's just supposed to be something that you enjoy, and if you don't enjoy it for the time being, then that's okay. And I experience that too, like all the time, trust me. So then another person asked me, are there other games that you would like to get into or enjoy as much as Animal Crossing New Horizons? And absolutely, like I will say to this day, Animal Crossing New Horizons is probably my favorite video game to play. Like I said, I haven't played a lot of games outside of my Switch because I don't own an updated console and I don't do PC gaming. I would love to get into PC gaming. There's tons of video games out there that I would really love to explore. Stardew Valley is a huge one. I've been dying to play, and I keep saying I'm going to pick it up and just start playing. But I think the biggest thing for me is trying to decide whether I wanted to get it on PC or to just get it on a Switch, because with PC, obviously you can modify it and create the game almost entirely your own, whereas with the Switch, you are limited to what is available in game. I think I might start off with the Switch and then maybe move on to PC eventually. So yeah, Stardew Valley would definitely be one of the biggest things for me. And there's a bunch of other ones. The new, this isn't really like a game I would like to get into. This is a game I'm really excited for. The new Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town is coming out. Technically it's already released in Japan, but it releases in the States on the 23rd, which I think is today. If I'm uploading this at the correct date, I intend to upload this on. And yeah, I would love to get into that because I owned a lot of the Harvest Moon games on my GameCube growing up, probably all of them, I think. Any of the ones that were available in Canada and the States, I think I owned. And I love playing every single one of them, so definitely the new Story of Seasons game. I was going to pick up the last Story of Seasons game, which name is completely escaping me right now, but I think the Pioneers of Olive Town one intrigued me more, so I think I put it off buying it until now, but I'm definitely picking up the Pioneers of Olive Town, and I'm extremely excited to play it. So the next thing someone asked me, and I actually got two people who asked me this, and it's kind of like the same question but a little bit different. One is, what is your least favorite thing about Animal Crossing, and what is one thing that you would change about Animal Crossing? So my least favorite thing, obviously, is the fact that we don't have enough villager spaces. We should have way more than 10 villager slots. I've been saying this forever. Obviously, like, I would also say that we need more items in game and more quality of life updates, but for me, it literally comes down to the simple fact that I love way more than 10 villagers and I need more space. I need at least 15 plots on my island at least, because I'm not even finished completing my dreamy list, and I have villagers on my island that I love. So right now I'm coming to the difficult decision of trying to decide who I'm going to be getting rid of in favor of like another villager that I love. And the new villagers just released for the new update, and I will at least be getting one of them on my island. So now I have to decide who I'm going to be letting go from my list of my favorite villagers that I already have on my island, and it's really, really hard. So if I had to choose something to change, it would be to give us more villager plots. And if I had to say there's one thing I don't like about Animal Crossing, it's the fact that there's not enough villager plots. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who thinks this way. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the thing I want to change about the game. Like, please, Animal Crossing, if you're listening, Nintendo gods, if you're listening, please give us more villager plots, please. Like, at least 12 or 14 or 30 or 30? 30 is a good number. So I have one more Animal Crossing related question, and then I'm going to move on to like a non-Animal Crossing related question. I wanted you guys to ask me like both, but most of the questions I did receive were Animal Crossing related, which is totally cool. And that is, if you could choose one which you had to stick with and that was it, which would you rather have, in-game pathing or custom pathing? And I would 100% say custom pathing, just because it's so versatile. I've said this time and time again, I am absolutely in awe of the amazing talent in this community and all the amazing pathings and codes and things that people have managed to make. It's probably one of my favorite aspects of the game, getting to decorate with their designs. So I would 100% say custom pathing. I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for the path. You know which path I'm talking about, and the different variations that have come out of the original path. But yeah, that is like, has been such a life changer, or game changer if you want to say. So definitely would be the custom pathing. The in-game pathing is really cute. I wish there was more diversity with it, but yeah, definitely custom pathing. Alright, so the next person asked, what is your favorite type of iced coffee? I love that I got this question, because if you know me and you see my Twitter, I post about iced coffee all the time. It's one of my favorite drinks ever. If I have a favorite iced coffee, oh gosh, I have so many different kinds that I love. Honestly, just like a regular like iced caramel macchiato, like if we're talking about Starbucks, or like any of my fellow Canadians out there, like the Canadian Tim Hortons iced coffee is amazing. Extra base, obviously, because they never put enough sweetener in there, and I'm someone who needs to have sugar in their coffee or I can't drink it. But if I had to pick like my favorite flavor of coffee, because obviously there's like vanilla sweetener, caramel sweetener, I'm a little bit more towards caramel. I just like the way that it tastes a little bit more. But I really do like vanilla iced coffee. My mom has gotten me on drinking vanilla McDonald's iced coffee, which is really, really good. And if I have to make my iced coffee at home, I honestly just like make it like simple with like some vanilla syrup. Or caramel syrup if I happen to have it. But my favorite drink from Starbucks, like as an iced coffee, would be the iced caramel macchiatos, because their caramel macchiatos are one of my favorites. I've started drinking cold brew too, which is also really, really good. But yeah. So then the same person asked, do you have any pets? And yes, I do. I have a dog. Her name is Emmy, and she is 11 years old. And I've had her since I was 16, so she's 11 now, and I'm almost 27, which, honest to God, I can't believe. Which leads me into my next question, which someone asked on the community tab, which is, how old are you? I am 27. Technically, I'm 26. Actually, I don't even want to say that I'm 27. I'm 26, and I will be turning 27 in about 3 or 4 weeks, which I don't even want to think about. So we're not even going to mention it. Nope, we're not even going to mention it. We're going to move on to the next question, which is, what do you eventually hope to do for a living? I honestly have no idea. I'm currently a film student, which is so much fun. I've always known that I eventually want to get into something that has to do with the entertainment industry or something like that. I love movies, television, social media, creating content, as you guys can see with my YouTube channel. So something along those lines, and I decided to get into film studies just because I really loved films and I wanted to learn and study films, and it's been an amazing experience for me. And I actually graduate this year, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing with myself after I graduate this year. But yeah, I don't know what I really want to do. I love writing, so maybe eventually I might get into screenwriting, or maybe even a like eventually write my own book, become an author. I've always wanted and dreamed of being an author. I actually started university years and years ago as an English major, and then eventually just changed my mind, even though I still love reading. So yeah, it's still very undecided for me, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to still not know what you want to do when you're in your 20s. There's some people who know what they want to do since they were kids, and unfortunately, that's never been me. I have my passions, which is important, and yeah, I'm just gonna follow those passions and see where that leads me. I unfortunately currently work in customer service, which has nothing to do with your current question, but right now I'm working in customer service. I work in retail, which I've been doing for most of my working life. I don't recommend it. If you are someone who works in customer service or retail, you understand why. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun making YouTube videos. Is that something I could see myself doing in the future? Absolutely. It's something I really love and enjoy doing. So yeah, that's the best version of that answer I can give you. And we're actually going to move back to Animal Crossing questions, because there's two more, or three more actually, that I would really love to answer. And one is, who is your favorite neighbor, or who is your favorite villager? If you know me by now, my absolute favorites are Poppy and Marshall. If you've been on my channel, if you watched my videos, you know that I still haven't found Poppy and brought her back to Moonlit. I had her on my old island, and we're still searching for her, but the hunt is never over. I've had tons of people actually offer her to me, which is so sweet, and I'm so grateful for your offers, but I feel like at this point I've been looking for her so long that I have to find her on a villager hunt, or just I would feel like I'm giving up. So new villager hunt coming very soon. I seen that you guys are really liking those videos, and I'm super excited that you guys are, because I love going on villager hunts. So the hunt for Poppy will be continuing very shortly. So yeah, Marshall and Poppy are my absolute favorites, and then third would be Audie. I honestly love the three of them equally, for different reasons, but yeah, Marshall, Poppy, and Audie are my absolute favorite, and then maybe Dobie would be fourth if I had to pick a fourth. But you guys are only asking for my favorite, but those two are probably tied for first, second, and third. And then my next one is, what is your least favorite species on Animal Crossing? And I don't know if I have one. There's a few that I don't really love, but I've found villagers in every single species that I like, because I've had most of them on my island. I guess if maybe I don't know. I was gonna say cows, but I like the cows. Maybe the ostriches. Not because I hate the ostriches, just because I feel like their character design could be slightly better. Probably one of my favorite ostrich villagers is Julia, because she's so beautiful. And then there's Flora, and there's a bunch of really cute ostrich villagers, and I really love them, but I think that their character design could be slightly better, I guess. I don't know. I was gonna say either ostriches or maybe the sheep, because kind of the same thing. I kind of wish their villager design was slightly better, but I still really like them. Or maybe the anteaters. I don't know. I'm honestly pulling at straws here, because I really like all of the species, and I like villagers in every single one of them. My favorite species is squirrel, if that counts for anything. But I don't know. It's hard to say. And then my absolute last question for today's video, which is probably one of my favorite questions I received, which was, if you could make your own villager, what species would it be, what would their personality be, and what would their name be? So, like I said, my favorite species is squirrel, so it would definitely be a squirrel. I kind of want to make it based off myself, but a little bit different, so I think her name would be Delilah instead of Dalia. I obviously have people call me Delilah all the time, because it's very similar to my name, but obviously different. I've had people sing "Hey There, Delilah" to me my whole life, which is like, it's so funny. I don't know. But yeah, so she'd be a squirrel. Her name would be Delilah, and she'd be a peppy villager or a normal. But I'm kind of leaning towards peppy because I would love her personality type, like her hobby to be music. Kind of falling on like that "Hey There, Delilah" concept. Like, I don't know, I just picture like a really laid back, chill looking squirrel, kind of like Sally, like in her, like, she has like hooded eyes and she's like really chill and mellow, and her hobby is his music, and she wears like a really pretty like flowy dress and maybe like a flower in her hair, kind of like June wears a flower in her hair. I don't know what color she'd be, maybe like a gray color or like a pretty brown or something like that, like one or more of the neutral tones instead of like the bright colors. And yeah, like she'd be like earth toned, if that makes sense. Like if someone wants to draw this for me, like that'd be incredible. Like just picture Sally but with like brown fur and like maybe like I don't know. I'm like kind of like just in my own head now. But yeah, that would be my my ideal villager, and her name would be Delilah, which I thought would be really, really cute. For the flower in her hair, it would be like a dahlia, which is like the flower, but like the same pronunciation of my name, but different spelling. If you've seen dahlias, they're beautiful. Probably one of my favorite flowers, not including because it's my like the same name as me, just because I think dahlias are beautiful and they come in so many different colors, and that's amazing. And yeah, I'm like kind of rambling at this point. All right, so we're officially finished this video. I've been rambling and talking for 25 minutes without stopping, and this little de-terraforming video is officially finished. I really hope that you guys just liked this video. I had a lot of fun answering your questions and would love to do more Q&A videos in the future. Like I said, I will be posting things like this on my Twitter and Instagram and on the community tab. So if you're not following me on social media, please check the links down below. I will have all my socials linked down below. And yeah, if you like this video, please don't hesitate to like and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Answer the questions that I've answered with your own answers. I would love to hear what your favorite Animal Crossing villagers are, and what your favorite things about Animal Crossing is, and all those amazing things. And how do you take your iced coffee? If you made it all the way to this end of the video, please let me know in the comments what your favorite type of iced coffee is, or do you not like iced coffee at all? Are you someone who prefers to drink tea or just water, which obviously it's very important to drink water and stay hydrated. So yeah. And if you are new to my channel and would like to subscribe, please don't hesitate to. I would love to have you as a part of the little community that we're growing here on YouTube. And I hope you guys are all having an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!